Hello, everybody, and welcome to War. I'm your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. War of the best-known cult high-end California wines in all of California, and that's what we've got today. 4 heavyweights. You can see the decanters are out in full force. Use the filter. We decanted these wines now for 6 hours. It's 4 o'clock. I'm going to Paris. Obviously, you can tell I did not tape the other episodes yesterday as I'm wearing different clothes. And no, I didn't change. So, saw Bo Rat last night. Hope some of you got to check it out. I legitimately almost threw up during the scene. And you know what I'm talking about. Question of the day. Do you miss me? So now, that's so out of the way. And now we are attacking 4 of the great California wines. And really, I'm really excited about this because a lot of people have asked me to do this. A lot of people, these are the current releases. They just kind of have come out. A lot of people buy these wines in this time of year, especially as gifts in December. So hopefully we can get through them and see if there's any values, if they're extremely overpriced. What is the story with these wines? And we're going to go right to the jugular with the classic Opus 1 2003. Opus 1 has long been one of the great California wines that everybody chases. A joint venture between Robert Mondavi and Baron Philippe Rothschild. This Meritage is right up there with some of the big wines in the world, almost on every single great restaurant list, in the world. And I am excited to try it. Not scored yet, I don't think. Nope, just made that note. $125. Let's see what's going on. Classic oaky nose, coming through with some black currant, a little bit of cherry as well on there. The nose is pretty good. Again, 6 hours decanted, filtered back into the bottle because I don't like to pour from the decanters on the show. I'm going to taste these wines all twice because these are huge wines that my reputation is going to be on the line for. So I want to make sure I really analyze them perfectly. Extremely bitter finish. Extremely bitter. I'm completely shocked right now. This is really a huge curveball to start tasting. I'm an up and down guy with Opus. A lot of people love it. A lot of people bash it. I like it when it's good, and I don't like it when it's bad. It's bad this year. The flavors are extremely austere. You're getting almost like a raw paper cherry blend, like just, I don't even know how to explain it other than extremely bitter and green, almost like they threw huge plants in the mix with the fruit. I'm getting the dirt and the soil and the green and not the terroir kind. Wow, I'm gonna score this wine 87 points, and don't forget we're scoring with no price consideration. Woo! All right. Good thing I'm leaving the country. Let's move on. Insignia, 2003, the 30th anniversary for Joseph Phelps. 2003, this is a blend of 84% Cabernet, 10% Petit Verdot, 3 Merlot, 3 Malbec, $110 or so, 90 points Spectator, 91 points Parker. Pretty low for Insignia. You may remember last year's was 96 Spectator, Wine of the Year. Insignia has a very soft spot in my heart. 93 Insignia was one of the big splurges that I ever made my dad make. We bought 25 six-packs, and we feared our entire careers were on the line. It was a big moment for me. I pushed the wine hard. 94 was really the wine that kind of made Wine Library famous back in the day because I sold it at an extremely aggressive price, and we brought in a lot of new customers. So I have a very strong affection for Insignia from those early days in my career. Nose is very attractive. Comes with a good dark licorice flavor. Little black currant. Hey, Rick the model, here's your favorite move. I did it for you. Good nose, big, very luscious. let me preface by saying that we are drinking these wines extremely young, and over the next 5 to 10 to 15 years, these wines will evolve. But I have been drinking young California wine long enough, and for that matter, young wine all the time long enough, and have watched different vintages and different wines evolve to get a sense of where wines go. That's what we do for a living. So I will tell you that this wine also has some similar issues to the Opus 1, but is a little bit more lush and has a little bit more mouthfeel. It's extremely smooth on the mid palate, but then gets a little bit too dry and a little kind of off-centered on the finish. It's black cherry, it's raspberry, it's got a little cassis, a hint of vanilla. I like the oak. It's a nice wine, nothing too astonishing. I'm going to score this wine 90 points, which is, because it's a solid bottle of wine. But at $110, guys, you could buy a case of wine that's equal to this effort. So I'm going to say that this guy has just gotten a little too expensive for what it is. Good wine. I'm in agreement with the Spectator and Parker on this one. I could actually even see this wine becoming an 89 over time, maybe a 91, but not anywhere too much in either direction. And thinking back to 94 Insignia being only $35, $40, this wine's climbed the charts pretty quickly for price. I'm sure there's a little price increase, based on wine of the year. The wine is still very solid, but you've got to really pick and choose your QPR efforts, and I'm going to pass on this wine. Let's move on. Robert Mondavi 2003 Reserve Cabernet, $88, 95 points Parker, and that really surprised me when I saw that score come through. I didn't realize. I've been really up and down on Mondavi as late as well, so I'm excited to try this. Again, Mondavi is there a Napa Valley without Robert Mondavi? A lot of people can ask, and you can ask that wine you can ask that question very seriously. This guy is a legend in the area and has made some exceptional wine. He's been kind of on a roller coaster lately, but I'm excited to try this wine. Really dark color. The nose crushes the other two. Crushes. Very exotic green pepper mixed with cherry, mixed with cassis, mixed with tannins. French vanilla oak. Really, really obvious on the nose. I like that. Even a little hint of plum and grape soda on the nose. The nose is extremely, extremely attractive. We don't have to taste this wine twice. Also very dry, big tannins, monster wine, but much, much more structured than the Opus and the Insignia. This is actually a monumental upset when you think about where these wines are in the scheme of things mentally to consumers. I really like this wine. It's extremely structured. Heavy tannins, very dark fruit, really solid taste of chocolate on the finish, which is quite nice. This wine, you could tell, will really open up. You can almost tell like it's a beautiful pie, and inside is all the good fruit. You're only getting the aromas, and you know it's good, and that's kind of the way I'm tasting this. I'm getting a lot of grapefruit, a lot of flavor to chocolate, the black currant, but I can just tell another 5 to 7 years, and this wine's going to explode. Some of that bitter tannins on the finish, unlike the other wines where it's integrated into the flavor, feels like it's just a situation of youth. This wine is a profound effort. I'm really high on this wine. Parker might be a tad high for me, but 94 points is where I'm going to go on this. I'm really high on this wine. I really like it. And, in the scheme of things, it's a good 20 to 40% less than the first two. And so, right off the bat, I'm pretty excited. Good job by Mondavi. It's good to see them back on top, and this is a top effort. And let's move on to one of the classics. This is a very young wine. This is the 2004 already from Caymus Special Select, 91 to 93 points. Parker, $120, and I'm excited to try it. Caymus Special Select 1991 was the wine that got me into wine. When it was wine of the year and I saw everybody come to the store and want to buy it because it was a collector's item, that really kind of turned the switch in my mind from saying, hey, I can sell baseball cards as collector items or wine, and if I sell wine, my parents will be happy with me. So that's really what happened. So this obviously has a soft spot in my heart as well. This has a much, much more herbaceous garden nose than the first three. This is coming off with broccoli and asparagus with a hint of bell pepper. Not as much fruit. A little bit of, almost sesame seeds on the nose, which, kind of comes to mind. Sunflower seeds. A very seedy kind of like aspect to it. Whew. Dark, big, real dry. By far the driest. Wow. Actually, I think Parker missed the boat on this one. Dark cherry, really luscious, very smooth, big body. I'm extremely impressed with this effort. 91 to 93 Parker, way too low. Let's go 95 points. I actually feel it's got more structure, more complexity than even the Mondavi, and tasting them side by side really helps me evaluate that and to see that there's more mouthfeel, more structure, just really, really impressive. Big wine, very smooth. Obviously has some heat. It's very young. It's an 04 where the others were an 03. And with wines like this, that's a big factor that 1 year. But this is a profound effort. It's got all the mouthfeel, all the structure, all the flavor profile, the silkiness to say this is an absolute winner. And I say jump on board at 95 points easy. The Mondavi and the Caymus absolutely crush the Opus and the Insignia. This is Gary Vaynerchuk. We'll see you next time on WLTV. You, with a little bit of me, changing the wine world.